ever feel like you're chasing a moving target, or like being good enough always feels like it's just out of reach? I get it. Growing up with a father who was an addict, losing a parent at a young age, and battling obsessive compulsive disorder throughout my life has taught me much about shame, guilt, and always trying to be good enough. But what if being good enough is a myth? What if your worth is not something to chase or try to measure up to? This is the Enough Effect podcast, a space to rewrite the narrative, share stories, and discover the power of being you exactly as you are. Hello, welcome back to the Enough Effect podcast. I am your host, Abby Tabilos, and welcome to episode number 11. Last week we talked a lot about mental health relapses and what it's like to feel like you can't draw enough self-compassion to help yourself get better. And today we're going to talk about something a little bit similar, but going a little bit more of another direction. And that is exhaustion. Because not only do you feel like it's difficult to give yourself self-compassion, you're also exhausted. So what do you do and how do you get through it? That's what we're going to be talking about today. If you are still wondering what that exhaustion means or what I'm referring to, let me just paint a picture for you. There are many days where I get home from work or whatever I was doing that day, and even though I was just sitting at a desk working and trying to be creative, like that's a little bit tiring. I'm exhausted like I ran a marathon because of what's going on up here. Because not only am I sitting at a desk working or trying to create content or whatever it is, I'm also constantly dealing with what the heck my mind's doing and what it's telling me about what I'm doing. I could wake up and stay in my bed all day. If my OCD was bad that day, I will be exhausted. And that takes a toll on you. Okay, I'm saying that a bit lightheartedly, but when you have a lot of bad days in a row, or just honestly existing as a person with OCD, it's so tiring, and that can kind of bleed into feelings of hopelessness and despair because you're like, I cannot keep doing this. So it's a double-edged sword, because how do you do the hard work that it takes to recover from a mental illness when that very mental illness is making you so exhausted that you can barely function when you get home from work? And I must admit, to me, recovering from OCD has always felt like hard work, because it's like people, I hear them say, you know, you spend 6 hours a day or whatever it is doing compulsions. So if you're just doing one exposure a day, how are you going to get better? And I'm like, good point, but I can't do any more exposures than that. Or how do I know which exposures to do? Or how can I practice mindfulness? And how can I try and figure out what my brain is doing and track the obsessive reasoning I'm going through? Because it's a lot. And I have fallen into the trap of it being hard work and of it taking a lot of time. And it is hard work, don't get me wrong, but I did see a YouTube video, which I will put in the show notes so I can give credit to this creator, who said that yes, recovering from OCD is hard work, but it doesn't have to take a lot of time. And I was like, what? How? And he does go into his thoughts and opinions about that. So if you're more interested in what he has to say, like I said, the link is in the show notes, in the description box. Please go check it out. But I think what I took from that and what I want to talk about in today's episode is that yes, getting better does take hard work and it does take time, but it's better to focus on recovery as baby steps. Because if you're thinking about, okay, I have to do these 7 million things every single day or I'm never going to get better, that's overwhelming. So just focus on what baby steps that you can take in 1 hour. What can you do for this time period from 12 to 1 p.m. that can help you with your recovery? It can be so simple. It can be, I'm going to try to meditate for 2 minutes. If that concept is still feeling a little bit hard to grasp, try and think of it as if you were to start a new physical exercise program, right? Say you wanted to run a marathon or a half marathon one day. You would not, okay, I have only ever ran 1 mile in my whole life. I'm going to start and just run 13 miles tomorrow just to see if I can do it. Or I'm going to run the whole marathon tomorrow. If you've already done that in the past and you know that you can tackle that, that's awesome. But for me, who's a big beginner,
It's like, no, I've got to start so tiny. I'm going to run 2 miles every day for a month, and then I'm going to run whatever. You're going to start very small, and you're going to do a little bit every single day. That's what we do to ourselves with OCD recovery, right? We're like, okay, I want to be recovered with OCD, so I have to be recovered by tomorrow. It's like, no, it's like doing a marathon. It's a long game. You do a little bit every day. You stretch one day and maybe you do a hard workout another day, right? That's how you have to kind of think about it and tackle it, and then it won't feel as overwhelming and as draining. Yes, you are exhausted. Yes, it's still hard work, but we can shift our mindset to, listen, it's actually just as exhausting to be dealing with OCD. I'm just as exhausted being beaten up by my mind every single day as I am taking 10 minutes every hour to do something towards my OCD recovery. So right now, if you're in like a deep dark hole of a relapse, it's unreasonable to expect yourself to do a 20-mile run with weightlifting, right? But maybe it's reasonable to do one 30-second stretch. Pick out what you can do and take baby steps and add on as you get stronger, because you will get stronger. And it's okay that right now you don't feel that strong. It just takes baby steps. Every journey is taken by little steps, and breaking that journey down is what has been a lot more helpful for me when I'm like, girl, I'm too exhausted to get recovered. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't have it in me. It's just as exhausting to hate yourself as it is to try and move towards self-compassion. It's just as exhausting to get beaten up by OCD as it is to try and move towards your values. You can do this. And just know that you're not alone. I'm rooting for you. And just ask yourself, what is one baby step that you can take today? If you need more information, please visit the NOCD website, nocd.com. They have a lot of great resources and OCD therapists you can reach out to. I also do my best to share helpful content for people who are seeking to recover from OCD, just to give you a little bit of extra oomph. I'm not a therapist. I don't replace therapy. I just share what I learn. And I'm an OCD advocate. So thank you for being here, and don't forget that you can do it.
Thank you for listening to the Enough Effect podcast. If you enjoyed listening, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment your favorite thing from today's episode. Plus, don't forget to hit up my social media at abstabs, ABSTABBS on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for daily inspirational content to remind you that you can live a life built upon the resounding belief that being good enough was never an endeavor worth pursuing. Lastly, check out my show notes for any resources mentioned in this episode and my website, where you can find a list of all the ways I would love to work with you. See you next week, and don't forget that you are and always have been more